Hi, Dave Friedman here. I hope you're having a great day. What I wanted to do is share a couple different tools with you. One is a Freedom Planner, and the other one is a workbook that you'll do before the Freedom Planner. I've been using these for probably about 3 years, and a mentor of mine put them together. And it's a compilation of a bunch of different tools and resources that a lot of high performers use. The first thing you're going to do is go through the workbook. It's going to help you think about where you are right now and where you want to take your life. So it's going to help you do a lot of brainstorming into figuring out what you want to get after in the next 1 year, 5 years, 10 plus years. And then from there, you're going to take those goals and start working into the planner. The planner will help you figure out to get your annual goal what your quarterly objectives need to be. So we recommend choosing up to 5 objectives and taking those and breaking those down into weekly action items where you revisit those items weekly and even daily. So daily, you're literally prioritizing your day around making sure you crush the top 6 most important things of the day that are directly tied to the rocks that you established for the quarter. So I did a screen share. It's about 20 minutes, but it just gives you some instructions and some insights from somebody like me who's been using these for a few different years. And we also walk our team through these on a quarterly basis too. They've been very impactful. We just wrapped up our Q2 team advance meeting, and the whole team went through these, and I've had about half of them come up to me and say, gosh, the timing was perfect for us to go through something like this and realign our priorities into our goals. So I hope you enjoyed the screen share. And if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know if you want copies of these 2 things, and I'll go ahead and email them to you. Thanks a lot, and have a great day. What I would love to do is introduce you to a couple different workbooks put together by the founder of Real Estate B School, Lars Hedenborg. And his coaching program is directed towards real estate professionals. And he's also huge into not just professional development, but also personal development and teaching his coaching clients about the things that he's learned in personal development too. So these 2 workbooks, one is more of a planner. The first one we're going through is a workbook. Are some of the language is going to be geared towards, some maybe real estate jargon or growing your business. But, those statements are completely interchangeable with whatever profession or career or position that you have specifically. And also towards personal growth, which we can all relate to. So we'll go through this first workbook here. I won't spend a ton of time on it. I'll just water ski over the top without going really deep into any of the sections. And then also the same with the planner too. And it's pretty self-explanatory, so you can read through it yourself. But this is the workbook that is something very important to go through before using the planner. And this requires you to have sort of a double vision where, the planner is going to help you think about what you're looking to get after your life in the future, and a little bit in this workbook also. And at the same time, it requires you to look at where you are right now so you can have this realization of what your life actually looks like, and then what you want it to look like, and then how you fill that gap in the middle to actually get there. So putting your life first. So this is the first part of the workbook here. So again, you're going to read some things that are related to real estate here, but no matter who you are and what you're doing, your career matters, but really why you're doing what you're doing is the most important thing. So that's discovering your why, and it gives you more purpose to how you're going to get there and why you get up in the morning. And it gives you a sense of how to be grounded in the work that you're doing and how it's going to get you to where you want to go. So these questions here will just kind of help you identify that purpose. And some examples are, what do you want your life to look and feel like? What do you value most? What is most important to you in your life? And again, this is professional and personal. What matters to you most at this point in your life? What would you like to be able to say about your life after it's too late to do anything about it? So that's a critical one too. How do you want your life to feel on a day-to-day basis? This could be the levels of your energy. If you are constantly feeling, down throughout the middle of the day and it's hard to regain your energy, you might have to think about, what you want that to really feel like opposed to where you are right now. What do you want people's perception of you to be? So if you were to write about yourself and in the ideal world, what would that perception be? Just kind of jot down some thoughts on that. As you're answering these questions, this isn't something where you just want to write down some bullet pointed words. You want to, write statements. There should be, a paragraph or two in each one of these questions related to, the answer. So what would you like people's perception of you to be? The answer would be something like, I want people to think about me and have these feelings of, and then you just get into whatever that perception is. And so these are definitely some thought-provoking questions. This workbook here will probably take you anywhere from an hour to possibly 2 hours to complete. So do you ever find yourself wishing you were different? How do you wish? So, what's your perception of yourself and how would you want it to be different? Why aren't you that way? What gets in your way? So what are those roadblocks that get in your way? It's either you hit the snooze button too many times, or, your day is very challenging with not enough time for a lunch break. So you find yourself eating accessible food that's very unhealthy. These are just some examples that you might put down there. Of all the things in your life, what has given you the most satisfaction or pleasure? So think back, in the last, week, month, 12 months, 24 months, 48 months, and think about those moments where you just felt like, man, this is what life is all about. Like this right here is what I enjoy most. And it might have been just a small solitary moment, while you were on vacation where there was just no stress and you just, realized how pretty the things were around you that you probably didn't notice the first few days that you were there. Or it could have been that time where, your kids came home from college or brought the grandkids by, and it was, that's what made your life up until that moment completely worth it, all that work you put into that. So just write down what's giving you the most satisfaction or pleasure. It's important to remember those things because those are the same things that you want to get after in the future as well. So of all the things that you have done in your life, what has given you the least satisfaction or pleasure? So what are the things that you're just not happy about, dissatisfied with, that you just wish that you stopped doing, or, if it's a pattern to you, you could stop it. So what's missing in your life? When you think about yourself, and you're wishing for something, what is that? What is that thing that you wish for? It could be every day. I'm sure we all have those things. What motivates you to perform above and beyond the call of duty? What is that thing that gets you out of bed in the morning and super excited to just go and get after the day? And what are your greatest strengths and your greatest weaknesses? What do you want to achieve, but you find it possible to do so? What barriers make it impossible? Think again, are those barriers really insurmountable? And most of the time, they're not. There have been many people in the same shoes that you are right now, and they have found their way through it. So this is a great way for you to challenge yourself on that. Here's a great place to write down, what you don't want in your life. So these are going to be the things that cause anger, frustration, fear, hatred, embarrassment, dissatisfaction. They're getting in the way of the things that you do want in your life. So in this section, you're just going to bullet point as many things, rapid fire, as many thoughts that you can put down that you don't want in your life. And the next section, what do you want in your life? Again, just bullet point all of the things that you do want in your life. They could be all personal, they could be all professional, it could be a mix of both. So these are the things that you get the most satisfaction out of. And then what are your priorities? So now you've done all of this thinking about what you do like, what you don't like, what have been some of the most proud moments, what are some of the worst moments. So you should have done a lot of brainstorming and gained clarity on what your priorities are. And then just write your priorities down right here, 1 through 5. Important things you want in life. And then think about, the barriers and the limitations that get in your way of making it happen. And then just jot down a solution for each one. Now, this next section is incredible, looking back on your life. So years and years from now, after a happy and fulfilling life, you are given the opportunity to write the eulogy for your memorial service. So assuming that you created the life that you want from this point moving forward, what would your eulogy say? So this is a very impactful thing to do, and it's great to go back and read about this, especially when you need a pick-me-up and you're feeling down, and go back and read all the things that you want your life's work to contain. And then what is your purpose? This is a great way to write a purpose statement for yourself. And then again, here's some great personal goals. Here's some categories that are predetermined, like your income, professional growth, personal growth, spiritual development, family and relationships, travel and adventure, major purchases, hobbies. And then there's a few sections for you to fill in some other areas of importance if there were any missing out here. So just writing down some goals in 6 months, next year, 5 years, 10 years, and knowing what you want to, get after over the next 10 years. So that is this initial workbook here, which will help you, again, do a lot of brainstorming into figuring out what you want your life to look like in the future and where you are right now. And so this next workbook is more of a 13-week, 90-day, quarterly workbook that'll help you stay on top of your priorities. There is a guy named Gino Wickman who's written a few books, Rocket Fuel and Traction, but he has this EOS philosophy, entrepreneurial operating systems, that you should live in a 90-day period and set goals for 90 days at a time and keep track of the score along the way. And so this business freedom planner, again, you can apply it to personal. I do pick some personal things that go in here as well. But this is a planner where you pick your priorities for the quarter, and it's a planner on how to monitor your progress on a week-to-week basis for 13 weeks. So if you picture, yourself choosing 5 priorities a quarter, accomplishing all of them, don't make them so large they're impossible to crush 5. And if you do have some that are that big, you might only pick 1, 2, or 3. Picking 5 might be unrealistic for you to get all of them done. I've also picked a list of things that were all too long and too big, and I wasn't able to get any of them done. So I work hard and I do good, and I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm not going to let you restrict me. Usain Bolt. That's a great smirk on his face there. So read through the directions here through this planner, and I will go through the directions in a moment here. So what's the biggest personal goals that you want to accomplish this quarter? What are the biggest professional goals you want to accomplish this quarter? So you want to go through here and answer a series of these questions. These answers should become very obvious and very easy for you to get after because of all the brainstorm that you just put into the previous workbook. Who or what motivates you the most? What gets you out of bed in the morning? Write down some words of encouragement for yourself to read during tough times. Just brainstorm all the things that you could do, the big rocks that you want to accomplish this quarter. And then the 5 P's are part of the overall planner. So it's planning, choosing your priorities, projects, potential, and positive focus. And then rewrite your 1-year goal here. Just restate it in several paragraphs, however much it takes to write it down. And it's a great place to go back to and take a look and remind yourself of what you're doing. And then you choose your rocks, so the 5 priorities that you're looking to accomplish here. And then just jot down your monthly goals. And then for each rock, what you're going to do is, write down the result that you're committed to creating. And then under step 2, the results that you've been producing in the past. And then step 3 is to bridge the gap between the two. And those are going to be the specific actions. So step 1 is this is where I'm at. Step 2 is this is where I want to go. And step 3 are bullet point items of what you're going to do to make sure that you get there. And you're going to do this for each one of the priorities. So there's 5 opportunities here to fill out. And again, if you only choose 1 or 2, that's fine too. So if we shoot back up to the instructions here, what we have are, brainstorm everything that you could work on at the beginning of the quarter, finalize and keep it short. So focus on 3 to 5 at a time, and we call them big rocks. And begin with the end in mind. So for each rock, do a bridge the gap, which is what we just covered. So before placing, for each rock, you want to spend a lot of time dedicating what it's going to take to accomplish that project. It could be 20 things. It could be 1 thing. So slowing down and making sure you get that understanding up front is really important. So the next part, show me the money. So before we place rocks into your calendar, this involves time blocking. We have to make sure that you're constantly doing the things that will get you closer to your goal. So take time every single morning and jot down the 6 must-do things that are going to get you closer to your goal. So then take those items and put them into your calendar. And then you can assess how much time is left in the day. After you put those big rocks in the calendar and see what you have left in the day, then start to put, the smaller priorities in there, the pebbles. And then after that, you'll simply fill the rest of it with sand, if you will, like very, very small items that don't really make a huge difference, but they have to get done for one reason or another. And so the goal here is that you're taking your biggest priorities and scheduling those first, and then letting the other things fill the day in. And what happens with most people is they wake up in the morning, they look at their phone, check their email, and they become very reactionary to all these requests that they have, through their, voicemail, text messages and such. And they lose sight of the bigger priorities. So they could be, specific clients that you need to get things done for. It could be, projects for your business. It could be projects for your health. It could be working out in the morning. So instead of, waking up and becoming, distracted with Facebook is, for 1 hour in bed or whatever, your dirty habit may be. And opposed to that, not picking up your phone and looking at it and getting your running shoes on and, jogging for 45 minutes or whatever it might be. And next, what you want to do is, measure your progress along the way. So if you're constantly measuring yourself, then against yourself, you will be able to take pride in what you're doing. Be sure to not compare your insides to other people's outsides. So no matter what people have going on in their life, you don't know where they are, where they've come from. So don't compare yourselves to them, because it's a good way to let yourself down too. And you definitely don't want to do that. And then the way that you have the 5 P's to prioritize your quarter moving forward. So the first thing is going to be your priorities. So again, this doesn't need to say what makes you money. It could say, what are the, items that get me closer to my goal. And then you time block them. So here, pick 6 priorities a day. You have your start time, end time. Do you follow the schedule? And on the next page are projects. So for each one of your 5 rocks, you're going to write down what the project name is right here next to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then pull action steps over that you want to accomplish for the week to get you closer to that goal. And for me, for example, if I had a goal to go from 185 pounds to 170, lose 15 pounds in 13 weeks, it's about 1 pound a week. So one action step could be, only eat, veggies, fruits, and lean meats. And another one could be, exercise 5 times. Another one could be, gallon of water a day. And another one could be, weigh myself at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week and make sure I lose 1 pound. And that could be it for that entire project, week in and week out. Or if it's a bigger project, maybe for, or a business project, maybe for your employer, and you have some kind of big project to get done, then it might have certain action steps. Like if you're in marketing, and one step is to purchase a URL, the next step is to create a website, the next step is to you know get content for the website or whatever it might be, or maybe take a class on how to figure out how to build an attractive website. Um, and then you have this. This is really just a checklist of things that pop up during the day that you don't have time for right now, but you want to write them down because they have to get done. And so when you write them down here, you can get back to them at some point during the day to make sure you accomplish them. And then positive focus. This is all journaling and gratitude. So things I'm grateful for and amazing things that happened. So there's 40 opportunities per week to write things down. And positive focus is a great thing psychologically. And then you have some pages for notes. And then after that, you go on to week 2. So you have 13 weeks of this. So it's a great way to stay on top of your goals week in and week out, and continuing to write them down on a daily basis, what things you're going to get done on a daily basis, and then rewriting your bigger goals on a weekly basis. And every study on goal setting and accomplishing goals starts and ends with actually sitting down and planning what you want it to look like, and then executing on it on a weekly basis and rewriting them down and revisiting them. Too many people set their goals at the very beginning of the year, then in December, they might think about them again, and they had no action plan to get there throughout the entire year. And this is an opportunity for you to revisit those goals on a daily basis. It's really hard to fail when you're looking at them every single day. So I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, let me know. And I can send you these 2 workbooks. So just shoot me an email if you are interested in them. Have a great day.